to Iowa, buddy.
Man, this is what I live for, kid.
Halloween morning. Been a long time coming. We got a dead buck right here. We got a dead buck right here. Well, we got the job done. Good decision to back out. Seems like every deer we kill this year is out of redneck. We are a little bit extra excited this week to bring you really a whole new format to the Huntline TV program. We're going to go as close to live as we possibly can. In other words, the content you're seeing is going to be what happened as recently as we could possibly turn it around and produce it for television. This whole show is a preseason prep show. We're going to show you everything we did this year to really put out the food that we need, or we feel like we need, to hold as many deer as possible, so that when it comes time in the fall to hunt, we've got options. We've got shooters on camera that we can, really go after and choose which one to go after, instead of just hoping to have one on the farm. This year I bought a bean planter, and we've got really heavy into beans, more than we've ever done in the past. And then as the summertime crop of beans started to wear down, or the deer ate them down in the smaller plots, we overseeded them with turnips. You're going to see all of our strategy laid out, and you're going to see a little bit of our hit list that we've collected from some summertime photos throughout each state. And you're going to get to see New York, where Garrett's from. You're going to get to see Missouri, and you're going to get to see Iowa. We're going to skip Kansas. We've got a whole nother show we're going to do on Kansas coming up, but you're going to get to see the prep for all those states, and you might even get to see a big buck at the end when Brooke comes in to finish up the show. We're going to lead it off with Garrett, and everything you're watching is as close to live as we can bring it. Enjoy the new format.
So I just got back to New York from Missouri. Made the 1,000-mile drive back here with the trailer that Sam let me borrow. Bought the BCS tractor, and I got this redneck 6x6 buck palace. We're gonna put it up inside this clover food plot. I've had this area for several years in clover. Always done traditionally brassica mix, a little bit of sorghum over here on the left-hand side. And I actually killed Bruce right up there last year. And this will be a key location that the bucks and the does try to transition through here. So with this redneck and the scent control technology that it offers, we're gonna be right in the bedroom with them basically when they come out here to feed. So it'll be a great bow spot, but hopefully, Dad, my brother, can hopefully get some rifle kills in here too. I'm kind of the bow hunter out of the family, but those guys like to rifle hunt, so it'll be a heck of a spot for everyone involved, I think. I'm doing right now, I just got back into town. It just got done raining pretty much this morning. We drove overnight to get here. I'm taking the little Husqvarna lawnmower here. It's a 46-inch cut. And what I'm actually gonna do, and I've never done this before, is plant some winter rye. And we've got a really nice brassica plot right here by the redneck blind. We have more food now than what we've ever had. We've got 3 nice bucks on camera. So yeah, I'm gonna put in about another ½ acre of straight up winter rye. And then where I've got some kind of yellow patches, you know, maybe some of the brassica got a little too wet, maybe it died off, but also I planted in some pure buckwheat, and I'm gonna overseed that with winter rye. Some bare soil exposed, and that stuff will sprout up, and it'll be a nice early season bow plot here in a couple weeks when I come back to, you know, kind of middle of October. But also, you know, for dad and brothers that rifle hunt, it'll be a great late season stand too, and it'll come back up next spring for a good turkey hunting. So I'm pretty excited about that. We're gonna give her a try, and hopefully she works out. So New York was pretty awesome. I got a ton of food in the ground, really good food plots, and we got plenty of moisture on the ground for the food plots to really flourish. Let's take it now, go check in with Chris and Tim in Iowa. I know it's super hot out there. They're busting their butts right now. Let's go see what those guys are doing up north.
All right, it is July 27th here in southern Iowa. Tim's on the four-wheeler right now spreading some fertilizer, and we're about to get some seed in the ground here on this food plot we just tore up, but it sets up perfect. Destination food source here, staging plot here, bedding back that way, and we have absolute perfect access coming in through an open field. No deer should get behind us, and we got to stand up there in a big oak tree, and I think it's gonna be dynamite this fall. Somebody's gonna get shot at a good one out of it.
It's July 27th, 18. We just put out 9 turnip plots here in Iowa. Add that to the corn and beans we got better food than we've ever had. So we're really looking for something pretty exciting this fall. Got some pictures of pretty nice bucks. They're still growing, still developing. It's gonna be a good year.
planting some wheat and turnips, and this is a new plot, haven't planted it ever, and it's back here really hard to get to, but it's surrounded by bedding, and I think it's gonna be phenomenal. I think we'll get pictures of different bucks back here, so pretty excited to hunt this spot. I'm gonna use a creek as access, and just excited to be back here and see what we see. It's gonna be a good sit when we're back here in November.
Come here.
On the board, baby, on the board. That is one big toe down. My heart's racing a little bit. Now my attention's turned to BB, big 10-pointer, so we'll see if he comes on in tonight.
The Iowa farm has been very successful, and we're in southeast Iowa, really, I mean, in the heart of the big buck genetics of the country, as far as I'm concerned. But one thing about this farm is that there's a lot of cover and bedding on it, and in areas that really inhibited us from accessing stand locations that we really wanted to be able to hunt over the past several seasons. This past year, my dad got in a contract to develop quail habitat, and we thought that was perfect for this farm because it helped us and gave us the ability to go in there and totally transform the ridge tops and kind of get control of the corridors of travel and force the deer to move into the more natural zones of travel, not just anywhere they wanted. And you know, so this is a preseason prep that started with laying the foundation of reclaiming the property, and then ended with taking that reclaimed territory and turning it into food for the deer. And I am happy to say, man, we've got more food up there than ever. Chris has got a bow tag this year. My dad's up there again. I'm gonna be up there in late season. It's gonna be a lot of big bucks running around Iowa. And our hit list in Iowa is the best it's been in 3 or 4 seasons.
I was having a lot of trouble chewing. Now I can eat anything.
Never had any pain.
The pain has been a lot less than what I first anticipated. I can't tell they're there.
So far I've had no issues. I didn't want to have all the hassle. They fit tight. I have a lot more bite force than I had before.
I like my T-bone steak and I like my strip sirloin too. It was very changing for me, impressed with the way they work.
Oh my gosh, that looks so much better than my real teeth.
I was afraid of the pain. I didn't feel any of the work that they did, and it was amazing.
It's been like night and day, you know, difference. I mean, it really has. I mean, if anybody was going to do it, I mean, this is what they should do, not mess around and do anything else, you know. Go with the implants.
It's here in the end of August, and we're getting ready, doing some prep today for season 8, getting going with some camera checking and moving some stands around and just trying to get prepared in general. I wanted to showcase this mule that I've been driving here for the last couple of years. You know, I've got young kids, and sort of my needs have changed over the last 5 years or so. There's 5 of us now, Hudson and Hoyt and Beckett and Leslie and I, and so I wanted something that had 2 seats. So I started out with a Polaris Ranger, the crew, and you know, then I wanted a machine that had a bigger bed because it was kind of a long machine, and out here on the farm there's a lot of rocks, and I was actually getting kind of high centered and stuff on it. So I wanted something that was a little more rugged and had a bigger bed, but had the versatility to haul the family as well. When I started looking at the mule, I really found all those things. So I want to just kind of showcase this mule to you and let you see some of the features that I like about it. First of all, the mule back in the day was 15, 20 miles an hour. And for the way our farms are spread apart, that's just not reasonable for me. So this thing runs about mid 40s. My old one was 45, 46. This one's about 47. And let me show you some of the features here. So one of the biggest things is the convertibility from a one-seater to a two-seater. So you can see as a one-seater right now, we've got a steel frame floor and a large bed. This is kind of like a mini farm truck. I feel like this is a little bit heavier built. You can put some weight on this thing. And you know, you're throwing a roll of barbed wire or something up in here, you don't have to worry about that brand new plastic just getting torn all to hell right away. So I love the big bed, and you can actually get some things done with it. We throw a lot of stands and things like that in here. You'd be surprised how we can get a ladder stand across this thing and make it work out. So when we're converting the bed, we want to haul more people, it's pretty simple. We've got a strap right here. We open the door and we lift up, okay? We're gonna then take this brace and pop that up, okay? And we'll go to the other side, do the same. And just open the door. A little buckle's hidden right there. Pop this up. You're just gonna push these in and this whole thing starts to come back and your seat folds up right here. So I'm gonna push it in on each side. And you can see this thing convert really quickly. So you're out working, you've got the full bed. You and the kids wanna take a little ride around. You switch a couple things and all of a sudden you've got a four-seater. And you've got about almost 2 feet shorter of a wheelbase. So what I really notice out here on the farm is that this thing naturally from the factory sits up higher than the Ranger does. And I really like that because the crew, it was great, I loved it, but man, I was getting it high centered out here everywhere. And you know, so when I went to this and I saw the shorter wheelbase and the ability to go from, you know, a one-seater to a two-seater with a bigger bed and still having some good speed, I just felt like that really solved all my problems. As we switch gears and come back home to Missouri, it just seems like Missouri, and I know it's our home base, we have more property here, but it just seems like Missouri is getting stronger and stronger every year, and every year we get a little more food out there. I think it allows us to hold a few more deer. This year, we mentioned earlier, you know, we really hammered the beans, and we had more beans for really good high protein summertime food sources than we've ever had in the past. And you know, in some of the smaller plots where the deer just absolutely annihilated our beans, we were able to go in, leave the half-grown bean plants there, and just overseed turnips, really without turning the soil again at all. This is just a hand cranking job. You know, it's just getting out there and burning the shoe leather, as Dad says. But Circle B is looking the best it's looked in a long time, and I'm super excited for this fall because I feel like even though we're not ever going to be as ready as I want us to be, we're a little bit closer than we've ever been. So this was all grown up. We just had this little spot right here in plot where the tractor's sitting, maybe a quarter of an acre. And we pushed all these trees out, went in here and burned this winter and turned it. And then, you know, it's grown back up a lot, but it's really not turning that bad. It just needs to be working up.
It looks like nice growth.
Yeah, right in here it's pretty rough. I'm gonna have to go out there and pick out some of the bigger root clods and stuff that are still in there. Hopefully the disc kind of tears them out. this past year, we got out and got some of the ground that we've let get away from us reclaimed. And you can really see that with the dozer disc and where we're using it at. You know, this past summer was really dry throughout the later part of July and the early part of August. And, you know, we got out there on some of these turnip plots that we had sowed in the last 2 weeks of July, and we watered them. You know, we started spraying sprouts this year for increase in cattle pasture, and I took that water that my brother had hooked up, and Tim had put it all together, and I took that water and went out on the food plots and gave them a drink. And I felt like some of those areas, you know, kind of got ahead, because after that, the floodgates opened and Missouri started raining down like it's supposed to. Brooke is someone who just started working here at Huntline Dental Group in the last year. She's someone that I felt like was hopefully going to end up here for a long time, but you know, we finally sort of made that happen. And one of the Sneeders boys just so happens to be her significant other. So Chris got Brooke out early this year, got the Raven, actually Garrett's Raven in the woods with him and in the blind, and I know it was maybe not the smoothest hunt in the world, but man, we got a stud walking in.
Me and Brooke are headed to the hay bale blind tonight, going down to her parents' farm. We got a couple big deer on camera and put the hay bale blind up about a month ago, and they're still showing up, so with any luck, it might be a real good night. It is about 90 degrees outside, but who knows? They've been coming to it all summer, so they may come one last time. Hopefully tonight's the night.
I think it saw me and snorted and definitely covered downwind of us.
Yeah, with it being like 90 degrees, we probably don't smell the best in here, because it's probably more like 120 in this hay bale blind. But we got like an hour left, so who knows? We might have the big boys still come in.
That's pretty impressive first year.
We just had Grayson a few weeks ago, and Chris and I were excited to get out and hunt together and spend some alone time. Garrett luckily had the Raven, his crossbow. Since we didn't have enough time to practice my compound bow, we've been a little busy with the new baby. He let us borrow it, and we practiced a few times, which was really awesome. It shot really well. Can't complain about that at all. When we got to the blind, we saw a lot, you know, turkeys, deer, but at the end we saw that nice buck, and I just couldn't pass him up. He was pretty awesome, to say the least. Chris definitely helped me get it done, and I thank him for that, and more thankfully that I got that big buck. Thanks for watching.
Be sure to give us a like on Facebook to keep up with all the details of the show.